And our Emily Longneckers continue our coverage from right here in Indianapolis.
She joins us live tonight after hearing from the Archdiocese of Indianapolis in just the last hour, as well as some of the local Catholic faithful, as they learned of the news of the first American Pope. Emily, what a historic day.
Historic indeed, and many people are talking about that. First off, the Archbishop of Indianapolis, Archbishop Charles C. Thompson, he said that he was really surprised at the election of the first American Pope. He said that this was the one cardinal that he actually had never met. The Archbishop called it a hopeful surprise that the new Pope was selected so quickly.
I have to admit, I started thinking he's only been a cardinal less than 2 years. Can you imagine less than 2 years being a cardinal and your first conclave and you get elected the Pope? So I can't imagine what's going on in his head. But it's one of the fastest elections. So it shows, I think, the great unity of the cardinals being together and focused on what they felt was needed in the next Pope. So I think those are some exciting signs of what's in store for us.
And news spread of the new Pope, church bells rang at Catholic churches across Indianapolis. We talked to some of the Catholic faithful who expressed their joy at the selection of the new Pope.
It's tremendous. It's really great. I of course, loved Pope Francis and was very hopeful that we would have a Pope that would be engaging the world as he did. And from what I hear about Pope Leo, he's the same. And of course, he's from the United States and from Chicago, so he's a Midwesterner too, so that's even more exciting, honestly.
And a lot of Catholics told us that they were so excited that Pope Leo XIV was an American, but the Archbishop pointed out that during his speech today, the new Pope didn't speak in English. He actually addressed the crowd in Spanish and Italian, and the Archbishop reminded us that much of the new Pope's time has been spent serving in Peru, in Italy. He called the new Pope a man of peace. He called him a bridge builder, and he reminded Catholic faithful and anyone watching really that this man's life is now changed forever, and he reminded the Catholic faithful that he needs everyone's prayers to address the challenges ahead. And Felicia?
Yes, all right. Thanks so much, Emily. We do appreciate it. You know, during the NBC coverage today, they were saying that he had spent a third of his life in Peru, a third in Italy, and a third in the States. So that makes sense when you hear that as well.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we heard the news here today that there was a white plume of smoke, we headed out to gather information. One of the places that we went was to St. John's Catholic Church. That's right across from the convention center in the heart of downtown.
And the bells were ringing. They rang for several hours in celebration of a new church leader. And Indianapolis watched along with the other 1.4 billion Catholics around the world. Father Rick Nagel at St. John's said during their noon mass, they prayed for the cardinals voting for the next pope and that the next elected pope to come soon and that he would be the right person.
At the beginning, I said we're going to pray the prayers that the church gives us to praying for the new pope, not knowing that we were going to have a new pope when we got out of Mass. And so that was really beautiful because those who were here were praying for him as he's being elected. So I'll always remember that as a priest.
And it was an answered prayer by the end of Mass. I kind of joked with them. And I also got a chance to watch alongside Father Rick and other parishioners as we learned who the new Pope was. And it was just really exciting. Father Rick says his schedule the next couple of days will look different with this news as they wait for direction from the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. Then they will plan out how they will celebrate the new Pope from Chicago at St. John's.
Who knew? Like everybody said, that you can never have an American Pope and hear how God works. You know, the Holy Spirit's always in control. So he's inspired the cardinals to elect an American Pope. And what a beautiful gift for America and the whole world, because he's worked all over the world for the church.
So locally, Father Rick will wait for more word from the Archbishop of Indianapolis, and then they will figure out how to celebrate Pope Leo XIV in the coming days. Now, Sunday is Mother's Day, and there is a new church leader. So he is thinking this Sunday will be busy and crowded in church, which is always good news to a pastor. All right, and there are quite a few Hoosiers in Italy right now who got to witness the historic moment.
That's right, and this afternoon I just talked with a woman from Indianapolis. She took a sponge spontaneous trip for Mother's Day to be there for the conclave.
This is something that I will never forget. This wonderful feeling, this unique moment that I'm going to be a part of. It's still surreal. I can't believe that I was there for it. I can't believe that I could see it, and it's a moment I'll hold on to forever. Especially as a Catholic, especially as someone who works for, a Catholic healthcare organization. Like, this is so special on so many different levels.
As Christina Mori, she works for Ascension St. Vincent, and here are some of the shots of her day that she shared with us. Now, she said that she and her mom planned this last-minute trip for this weekend. The bad news is her mom's flight didn't make it, so she is excited to reunite with her mom in Rome when she arrives tomorrow, and their plan is to go together to something that's on the Pope's new schedule so that they can have that experience and do something along those lines tomorrow or Saturday. Look how happy she is.
I know.
So great. Just beaming.
Yeah, I hope her mom gets there fast,
yes,
ASAP.
Yes.
So as we mentioned, Pope Leo XIV was born in Chicago, but he is also a citizen of Peru.
Yes, and he spent much of his career as a missionary in South America, and he served as a bishop in Peru as well, and that's where we're told he spent much of his life. The late Pope Francis brought him to Rome 2 years ago to assume the presidency of the Pontifical Commission for Latin America. And we're going to have continuing coverage of this historic announcement as our news continues over the next 90 minutes.
And after that, NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt will continue our coverage live from the Vatican. That's at 6:30 right here on Channel 13.